So last week we looked at identifying the sides of the triangle, working out are we going to use sin, cos or tan by looking at these. Okay, so working out are we going to use sin, are we going to use cos or are we going to use tan. Once we did that, you then use the calculator a little bit for task 3 and just put in some numbers. So hopefully that wasn't too bad. What you've got to do now is actually find out the length of the missing side. So if we've got X labelled, for example on BA here, we've got X labelled, we've actually got to work out how long that will be. So to start with, you just do exactly the same thing that we did on Thursday. So you label the sides that have got the information on. So A to C, this side's got no X and no number. We don't care about this at all. So label the two sides that have got information on. X is across from the angle, so X is opposite. 42 is across from the 90 degrees, so the 42 is the hypotenuse. So we've labelled the sides and we've got O and H. We then look at the top and we've got sine theta is O over H, cos theta is A and H, tan theta is O and A. We've got O and we've got H, so the one that we're going to use for this question is sine theta, just as you did with task 2. So, let's write down the formula. Sine theta equals O over H. Now, the theta, this just means an angle, so the sine has to be attached. It has to be attached to the angle. So, here you've got sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. So let's put in some of the numbers. Sine is with the angle, and the angle we've got is the 32 degrees. So sine 32. So if I say cosine or tangent or sine, they've just been shortened to sin, cos and tan. So sin is short for cosine. Sorry, sin is short for sine. Cos is short for cosine and tan is short for tangent. So sin 32 is opposite, which is x, divided by h, because we've got opposite, divided by hypotenuse. So opposite, which is x, divided by the hypotenuse, which is 42. We now just need to solve this. And to solve this, it's a bit of algebra. I know some of you do this in different ways, but the 42 becomes a mod times on the other side. So 42 goes over the equal sign. If you've got Misseltani, it goes over the border and it changes to a times, okay? So the way that we've done it is if you times both sides by 42, the 42s would then cancel out. Either way, you end up with 42 times sine 32 equals x. You then get your calculator and you put that into your calculator. So you type in 42 times sine. You then get an open bracket. So put in the angle 32. You have to remember to close the bracket afterwards. And it will give you your answer as x equals 22.256. We're going to round it to one decimal place. So x equals 22.3. Just check with your calculator that you know how to do this as you go along, and make sure you get the same answer as me. Okay, that's that one done. Now they're all just exactly the same as that, really. So for this one, identify the sides. So opposite the 29, we've got x, so that's the opposite. Next to the 29, and not the opposite 90 degrees, next to the 29 is our adjacent. Everyone was really good at identifying these before, so this should be fine. We've got O and A. You then look at which one are we going to use. Sine was O and H, cos was A and H, tan was O and A, so we're going to use tan for this one. So we're going to write down the formula. So tan theta equals O over A. We're then going to put the numbers in. So theta is the angle, so tan 29 equals the opposite, which is x, divided by the adjacent, which is 6. Again, times both sides by 6, or the divided by 6 becomes a times by 6 when it moves up to the other side. So 6 times tan 29 equals x. Type that into a calculator, and 6 times tan 29, close your bracket after you've typed it in, and you get to one decimal place. You get 3.3 centimetres is x. There we go. Okay, next one. So do the same thing, label the sides. So we've got across from 90 degrees is your hypotenuse. Next to the angle is your adjacent. So we've got A and H. Look back up at the top. A and H, we've got cos theta. So for this one, we're going to be using cos. So cos theta equals A over H. Put in the numbers. So cos 34 equals your adjacent, so x, divided by your hypotenuse, 56. Times both sides by 56 to get 56 times cos 34 equals x. Then you can work out what this is using your calculator. So 56 times cos 34, and you should get as an answer 46.4. That's the value of x. Hopefully you can now do exercise 1 on task 4.